Thanks to the chair for giving me this opportunity to share my views on a very pertinent and important topic, that is defense, foreign policy, and Union Budget 25-26. And being a scholar of international economics, this is very much fitting into my knowledge domain. Since you have already given background about the allocation of funds to the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Defense, which makes us easy to understand the, the allocation of budget. But I will repeat some of the things which is already said by Professor Nawal and Major General Dr. Chaudhary. So since the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable which amounts to 13.4% of the budget and below 2% of the total GDP of economy. So there is a marginal increase from last year, and this increase is necessary for our defense sector because we are further ramping up the defense capability with a state-of-art weapons and ensure transformation to a technology-advanced combat-ready defense forces. So this is the necessity for us to allocate little more budget to the Ministry of Defense, and there are many other things department has to do under the Ministry of Defense. So one side, defense provision has been made in pursuance of the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi led government vision of Viksit Bharat at 2047 with technologically advanced and Atmanirbhar armed forces. This is one side, but another side is also that the Ministry of Defense has already taken a decision to observe 2025-26 as year of reforms, which will further strengthen the resolve of the government for armed forces modernization and aims to simplify the defense acquisition procedure DAP 2020 to ensure the optimal utilization of the budgetary location. So I was finance officer of Central University of Sikkim, and I know it is very, very difficult for us to monitor and observe that which department utilization is less. So we are sending letters at least twice in a month to monitor the percentage of utilization from the department where we have already allocated funds. And this ministry is also not an exception. This is already highlighted by Professor Nawal. So now the situation is rupees 12,500 crore they have to return due to unspent fund. So the Defense Ministry is expected to return 12,500 crore from the main reason for this underutilization of fund is the slow and complex defense procurement process, which cause delay. So the emphasis has already been given in 25-26 budget is to simplify the procurement process. So to streamline procurement, the government has started consolidated capital expenditure for the three armed services under a single framework. And this unified approach aims to cut down on redundancy and boost efficiency in acquiring critical assets like land, aircraft, aero engines, and heavy vehicles. So these are the reforms taking place within the defense ministry, and government is also watching it. In the current geographical geopolitical scenario, where the world is witnessing a changing paradigm of modern warfare, Indian armed forces need to be equipped with a state-of-the-art weapon and have to be transformed into a technologically advanced combat-ready force. Keeping this in view, rupees 1,80,000 crore has been allocated on capital outlay of the defense forces, and this allocation is 4.65% higher than the budgetary estimate of financial year 24-25. During financial year 2021, Ministry of Defense took a decision to strengthen the domestic industry and to take the forces self-reliant. Since then, a substantial share of modernization budget is being earmarked for the capital procurement from the domestic industry, and in order to encourage the private sector for manufacturing and technological development in the defense sector, a notable percentage of the domestic share is further earmarked for acquisition from domestic private industry. And when you go to the bordering area of India, we are fully well equipped, technologically advanced weapons are there, and these are the process through we produce and we encourage the private sector for manufacturing sector. So there is a substantial enhancement in the allocation for the DRDO, and DRDO has been increased to 26,816 crore in financial year 25-26 as compared to last year that was 23.85 crore, which is 12.4% higher than the budget estimates of 24-25. So out of this, a major share has been allocated for capital expenditure and to fund the research and development projects. This will financially strengthen the DRDO in developing new technology with a special focus on fundamental research and hand-holding of the private parties through development cum production partner. This will also increase allocation under capital head of DRDO or further provide adequate financial resources development fund and will assist the development of deep technology in the defense sector. So DRDO has also got boost through this budget, and there is also a provision of encouraging a startup ecosystem for innovation in the defense sector and for making the armed forces self-reliant in defense technology and increasing innovations. It is imperative to engage the private players and strengthen the startup ecosystem in the country for technological development and innovation in the defense sector. And for this purpose, 449 crore has been allocated to IDX scheme, including its server scheme, that is Aditi, that will be utilized for funding the projects to be taken up under this scheme. Government has also this, but a strengthening border infrastructure is also a requirement for our defense sector. And when you go to the border area, it is visible that the level of development is taking place at the border infrastructure is commendable, and budget allocation has been also be given for border infrastructure 71246 crores. Now the geopolitical security is undergoing a turbulent phase, and areas like hypersonic weapons, anti-drone systems, and quantum tech tech are crucial technology for adding advancement in security infrastructure, and budget has already been allocated to this area. So considering the delicate tectonic plates of global security and the imperative needs to bridge capability gaps, most defense analysts have also argued that Indian defense budget should be at least 2.5% of the GDP, and we hope that by next year this budget will increase. Now we are talking about the MEA budget, and MEA budget is basically devoted for foreign aid and assistance, and focus of this 25-26 budget has been given where you need some infrastructure development projects, then hydropower development projects, and also economic collaboration and partnership. So when we talk about the allocation of budget funds in the Ministry of External Affairs budget, then we find that we find that Bangladesh no any increase in the aid, but for Maldives, India's financial support to Maldives has been from rupees 200 crore in the 24-25 financial year to rupees 100 crore in 25-26, and also reduction in Myanmar aid allocation. And as already highlighted by previous panelists, that Nepal aid remains unchanged at rupees 700 crore, Sri Lanka 300 crore.
I think that
Substantially, and continues to be India's largest foreign aid and recipient. But when we talk about near neighboring countries, Nepal and Bhutan were getting foreign aid and assistance since 1951. So this aid and assistance from India is not new, but the amount which is increased is substantial. And we also know that India has financed 5-year plan of Bhutan for 3 decades. So we are on Bhutan is getting substantial amount of budget allocation as a foreign aid assistance. It requires some contribution. So these are the issues which I wanted to share with you. Thank you very much for giving me.
thank you very much, sir. And I sincerely hope that you will remain with us for the question and answer session.
Yes, I will try to join because I have to take Army officers class in the commando area. Thank
So,
you.
sir,
Thank you very much.
maybe we can. I would just want to know your thoughts about since you are in Sikkim and you are very intensely active in conducting research and field work in the northeastern states. Do you think our budget augurs well for the Act East policy?
When we are talking about the neighborhood policy, Act East policy automatically comes in. And when I am traveling to the bordering area, particularly Myanmar, China, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, our infrastructure developments are far, far better than we have seen 20 years or 15 years back. Accessibility is very, very important for northeastern people, and now they have accessibility wherever they want to go, they can go. But during this last few years, our defense forces has also brought many vehicles and many instruments or many technology, which is very helpful for us to guarding and monitoring the border. And infrastructure is already developed and it is already in the development process. Maybe within 4 or 5 years, our infrastructure at the border area will be very, very smooth and also convenient for the Northeast people to move out wherever they want to go. So it is for the both civilian as well as military purpose. Our infrastructure is developing at very, very fast level.